I've set up a lab here to develop some of my own interests, and you might call them inventions, devices that are generally useful for various things. And it just came to the point where I realized that I needed to be able to make things easily and accurately without having to send them out all the time, because it would take weeks or months even to get the part back. And so I started learning about machining. First I started with some manual machines, but eventually it became clear to me if I wanted to make parts that were more complicated, that required a lot of precision, that needed to be, and in particular needed to be repeated, that I needed something better than what I could do manually, because I'm not a machinist. So I started to move into computer-aided machining, and I bought initially a Tormach mill, which is right here, and I learned about computer-aided machining software. I had another product before I had SolidCAM, which I had a lot of trouble learning, and I had a lot of trouble especially getting the coordinates correct and so forth. And I was introduced by a friend of mine to SolidCAM. And what attracted to me very much about SolidCAM is that it's totally integrated with SolidWorks, which I was already using. And so the look and feel of the software, everything was familiar from the beginning. And I found that using it was much easier for me, especially even in the beginnings with setting up the coordinates for the part. The way that SolidCAM has implemented this, for me, just made it a whole lot easier to use. So I quickly switched to SolidCAM, and then over the years I was able to learn more and more about how to use the software. And in particular, I think the SolidCAM people are extremely good at helping you learn how to use the product. Anytime I had a question, I could call at any time and get support, get help. So it wasn't just, you know, this isn't working or that isn't working, but what do you think I should do here, because this is a particularly difficult part to make, and all the guys who help you are all, as far as I know, expert machinists. So they can add to your ability to do things. When I started using SolidCAM, they had not introduced iMachining. And then within a few, I think probably within a year or more after I'd started using it, iMachining came out as a feature of SolidCAM. The way that iMachining works is it optimizes how the tool moves through the metal, and you really don't have to know a lot about that, which is great. I mean, for me, I've learned over the years that real machinists, you know, feeds and speeds is really the name of the game. Understanding a metal, how fast to move the tool through the part, and how fast to be spinning the tool matters a great deal. And these are things that experienced machinists know, but people like me don't know. When you use iMachining, a lot of that, all of it actually, is decided for you, although you can adjust it for yourself. For example, I don't have the high-powered machines that might be in a professional machine shop. I have low-horsepower motors, and so when I use iMachining, I have to use it at its most modest levels. But I'm still getting the benefit of iMachining's calculations regarding the tool paths, even though it may not be cutting it as fast as it might be in a professional shop with a 30 horsepower motor. I often am making parts that if I tried to make them by hand, it would take me so much longer, if at all. And I think the biggest advantage for an inventor, somebody like me, is that I can use SolidCAM in conjunction with SolidWorks to develop parts for whatever idea, and I'm confident that when I cut that part, it's going to work. The technology that's embedded in the software is something that really allows me to make basically whatever I want.